amazing run. Nice. Oh my brain! Goodness me! Oh, are you serious?
XGames Real BMX is a video competition. In this event, 6 of the world's best BMX riders team up with a filmer of their choice and take to the streets to shoot a 90-second video part, including the hits, the misses, the slams, and the heartbreak. These teams have 3 months to complete this task before submitting their videos to a panel of esteemed judges. These judges will cast their votes to determine which team takes home XGames Gold. During this show, we will take you behind the scenes with the crews to witness the filming process. The riders in Real BMX are Dennis Enarson, Devon Smillie, Colt Fake, Dakota Roche, Homan, and Garrett Reynolds. These are their videos, and this is World of X Games Real BMX, presented by Hot Pockets.
Hi, welcome to the World of X Games Real BMX. I'm your host, the handsome and charming Steve Crandall. Let's get right down to business and meet our respected panel of judges. All right, first up we have Tony Hamlin, foul-mouthed East Coast pro with a temper almost as short as he is. Next up we have Jeff ZIELINSKI. He's an unusual man of high standing, technical street riding enthusiast and professional photographer. Our third judge, Brian KACHINSKY, tough as nails, hailing from Chicago, Illinois, is a veteran for filming video parts and one of the most respected riders in the game. And our final judge, street riding legend, Mike Rooftop ESCAMILLA. ESCAMILLA?
ESCAMILLA, just like tortilla.
Mike Rooftop ESCAMILLA, often outspoken and controversial, filmed his pioneering street riding part for Dirty Deeds in 1994 when he was only 16 years old. All right, judges, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. We're just gonna get right down to brass tacks. Brian, how important is a video part to a professional BMXer?
Video parts are really kind of the forefront of innovation for everything we do.
This is the ultimate real contest with yourself, with the industry, with your peers. So for me, these video parts are the most important thing that can possibly be a part of any industry.
I think the video part is really probably the only authentic way to show street riding properly. Whenever you try to do street riding in a contest, it's always rigid to the obstacles. In the video part, the rider finds what they want to ride, and then they like adapt themselves and their abilities to the obstacles. So it's like you see their style and their like vision of the streets. It's a good way to represent a rider as an individual.
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Me neither. What the hell are they talking about?
I'm working on a video blog right now, and yeah, this is gonna be pretty cool. Hey, will you guys keep it down over here, okay?
What are some of the elements that you guys look for in what makes a good video part?
If I watch a video part and it stokes me, and all of a sudden that song is in my iPod, you know that part ruled.
I just want to see something that inspires me. When the video's done, I just want to go out and ride. You know, just simple as that.
I'm specifically like looking for creativity in usage of spots. Like how do people interpret their environment?
When you're in school, for example, when you're a kid and your teacher teaches you how to write an essay or write a story, there's like an attention getter, an intro, you kind of build the character, then there's the body, and then a conclusion, which we call a banger. So you take all those and that's kind of a good story. Or they can take their own route and just do something that's totally them.
Judges, we've got 6 teams, 6 video parts, but before we check them all out, we're gonna go behind the scenes, see what it takes to make the magic. First up, we have Dennis Enarson out of San Diego, California, 8 times X Games medalist, working with filmer and friend Dobie.
Hi, I'm Dennis Enarson. I'm 25 years old from San Diego, California. Me and Dobie had already been working on some projects together, and it just felt right. Like we were just filming together a lot on the weekends already, and he was just convenient, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. We've just been working well together, and I just hit him up with the opportunity.
What's up? I'm Dobie. I'm 22 years old, and I'm from San Diego, California. Dennis films with so many people, and the fact that he could choose anyone and he chose me, it still blows my mind, and it's awesome to be working on another project with Dennis.
The whole world is our course, and we get to like do the stuff we think is the coolest. These video parts will show way more what BMX is than a small contest course.
Yeah, filming Dennis every day. He'll take you to spot, call something out, and it blows my mind. I always question him, like, is this really what you're gonna do? And
he always hits me with like the for real, and I'm like, yeah, like we're doing this.
He always bangs it out. Yeah, Dennis likes to keep it real chill, and he makes everyone feel comfortable around him. Even when he's doing something crazy, he still keeps it mellow, joking around on the side, and it just makes everyone not stress out, and it just works better that way.
For the most part, I try and not even let it get too focused in on what we're doing, because I like riding street where everyone's actually riding street. Not everyone just came to like watch me go down the handrail. It's like everyone's having fun riding the little spots. I dislocated my shoulder right in the beginning. Had to heal that up, like put a lot of work into getting that better, and as soon as that started feeling really good, I had like a solid like 2 weeks before X Games, but I hadn't been riding at all, so I was like, damn, I gotta really like actually focus on this. So did the whole X Games thing. After that, we went into it with, I think, 3 more weekends, and we had 2 clips.
Yeah.
So it was crunch time there at the end, and then it was going good. We're like, we got this. After like the first 2 weekends, we like already were just like, okay, if we keep doing this, it's gonna be no problem. But then I bruised my heel doing the fakie bar down the 14. Then it got like, uh-oh. We started not stressing, but we're like, it's gonna come down in the last day or we're not gonna probably finish it. I'm Dennis Enarson, and this is my X Games Real BMX video part.
Right off the bat, what do you think?
The opening clip, that 360, is insane. Just the sound his tires make when he yanks off that like metal grate and he's just like a little dot just flying through the screen. If that first clip doesn't get your attention, I don't know what would.
I like the way the video comes in. It seems like you're sitting behind the camera and pressing record, so it almost gives you the feeling like you're there. I also like a nice little touch that Dobie put in there is how Dennis jumps over his name, and it's just kind of like when he 360s over his name, it's kind of just like, get ready, here we go.
That rail ride that he did, that wasn't really a rail ride, it was like a ledge ride next to the rail. I haven't seen anybody do that. Everything in that part was either hospital or high fives.
A lot of high fives. I mean, he had a couple really solid rail tricks, the overgrind crook, and then the rail ride, and then all of a sudden like the giant 3, just a really good mix of stuff.
Because a lot of guys will just pick like a couple tricks and do variations of those 4 tricks, and they didn't do that, it was rad.
Yeah, but he's Dennis, he can do it all. I mean, come on, there's nothing that this guy can't freaking do. Dude, those LA spots, I mean, he honestly made what people have been doing there previously look like child's play. I like the 2-tire down the long rail, the switch whip. I thought that was a surprise. He like locked in, I was like, is it coming?
And that rail's longer than it looks.
Yeah, it's like, and the run-up sucks, dude. Like,
downhill run-up.
That was a big thing for me in some of the clips was the run-ups and run-outs. There's that fakie bar down the set.
Which is gnarly.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis lives in a place where there's probably tons of set of stairs for him to fakie bar down, but he decided to pick one that like had the thread the needle run out with like almost no space. He almost killed the filmer down at the bottom. That was impressive, and then also how they showed, he did that long ice rail and he had to jump over the curb to get onto it. And it's a really quick clip, but they just show, you know, he has to jump over a curb to get onto it, and then he just locks into the ice. And
which changes the clip totally.
oh, completely, yeah.
Yeah, Dennis is like one of those riders, you know, like riders' favorite riders, because he's one of the guys that isn't gonna be around a couple years, he's gonna be around for 20 years or more.
We'll be right back with a video part from the leader of the new school, Devon Smillie, and his filmer, Mike MANZOORI.
Hot Pockets. Be hungry for more. Just never be hungry. Welcome back to World of X Games Real BMX, presented by Hot Pockets.
We're gonna jump right back into these video parts with Devon Smillie and his filmer, Mike MANZOORI.
I'm Devon Smillie. I'm 23 years old, from Gwinnett County, Georgia, and now currently residing in Laguna Hills, California. I think that Mike is probably one of the best filmers ever. He's one of the top dogs in the skateboarding filming game.
I'm Mike MANZOORI. I'm Devon's filmer for Real BMX. I got into filmmaking when I was younger, skateboarding all the time. We'd all film each other, and somehow I ended up behind the camera more than everybody else, so I've been doing it for about 20 years now.
It's really crazy that I'm even like in this position to be able to work with Mike.
When Devon first hit me up about being involved in this project, I was stoked, but I was a little bit overwhelmed. I mean, we already have a full-length video in the works with ENNIS, so it's taking on an extra project for both of us. And also just, I heard about the lineup of other people who are possibly going to be contenders in this, and, you know, it's serious. So we're going to do it, we better try and do it right if we can.
It's kind of different filming with a skate filmer when like they don't film BMX, but like I trust him enough, like he's a good enough filmer that he figures it out. Everything he shot has been beautiful, to me at least. I think everything he shoots is great. I'm working with one of the best filmers, and like I want to be able to put out the best clips I can. And, you know, we'll be like sitting there trying to clip for 3 hours, and I just want to give up, and it feels like the worst day ever. That's where the patience comes in on his end, and perseverance comes in on mine.
As soon as someone turns a lens towards you and you start trying something, then yeah, he'll get mad and get frustrated, but it's only because he's trying stuff that he knows he can probably nail, and I don't know, I've seen worse, definitely. I've seen some really heavy meltdowns, and yeah, he's pretty easygoing when it comes to riding.
When we go out, he gets straight to business. He's working probably twice as hard as I'm working trying to film some stuff. It's always just good time like hanging out even when we're out working. Doesn't really feel like work.
You know, we've been out a bunch recently since he got on ENNIS, and it's just been focusing on his riding, so I have yet to actually skate with Devon. I mean, but Devon does rip, believe.
It's pretty crazy thinking that I'm one of 6 people that got chose to film for one of these, so super honored to be in this position, really. My name is Devon Smillie, and this is my XGames Real BMX part.
Technical street madness. What did you think, Tony?
One trick that stood out for me, man, was that 180 Smith to truck out. That was insane.
So good.
Yep.
Devon is so incredibly talented that if he were like a major league pitcher, for example, and not a bike rider, he could throw a fastball with either arm. You don't know, is he right-handed, is he left-handed, does he turn this way or turn that way naturally? He's just that good that you just don't know which way he's going, and that's just a testament to how talented he is.
Another thing too is just his ability to link tricks together, going forward or backward on the back wheel, the manual stuff. It's pretty mind-boggling.
You know, this is a hard one for me because technically I know how hard it is. I know that he's a better bike rider than I'll ever have been or would be. But for me, stuff that moves slow and is on stuff that's a foot tall is hard for me to get excited on, even though the tricks are super hard. Now with that part as well, there's some tricks like you said, that 180 backward Smith truck out is insane. Like, that's a trick I could try a million times and never do.
You just see those spots so many times, and it's just not hating on it, because I mean, what he did on him was really good, but it's like I don't want to see the green flat ledge that I've seen 1,000 times in the web edits.
I don't want to see it at all. Because that's where you should learn tricks, not film. I think that is such a part of being a video part, is that you got to give something that you're scared of.
He did have to go after Dennis, so I feel like our perceptions are kind of screwed right now.
And you know, they're filming this part in a few months, unannounced, so they do have other trips to go on, other videos to film for, so it is hard. Filming a video part is not easy.
The filming and production was incredible. I mean, Mike MANZOORI is a former professional skateboarder, so he's really, really good on a skateboard, and he's just really good with filming and giving the video kind of a vibe and a feel. And case in point right there, I mean, the filming was absolutely incredible and different from the video we just watched prior to that.
I think MANZOORI did an insane job at filming. Like some of those lines to link up, because what he's doing is so hard, it's hard to create a flow with that, and he did such a good job of making those clips flow together.
When we get back, we're gonna check out Colt Fake, Total Madman. Working with DARRYL TOCCO on this one, we're gonna see what they cooked up.
Welcome back to World of X Games, Real BMX, presented by Hot Pockets.
Underground legend, Colt Fake. This guy is a lunatic. You might not have ever heard of him, but with this wild card invite to Real BMX, you're about to see it go down. Let's see what Colt and his filmer, DARRYL TOCCO, came up with.
Yeah, I'm Colt Fake, and I'm from Orlando, Florida. When I got the call to be a part of this, I was really surprised. It just came out of nowhere. Like, this is the biggest opportunity I think I've had in BMX.
My name is DARRYL TOCCO, and I am Colt Fake's filmer for Real BMX. Yeah, I think it's awesome that Colt's in this. He's definitely the underdog. He doesn't have big sponsors. He's not making a monthly salary off of BMX. You know, he works a normal job, a semi-normal job.
BMX is what I'm passionate about, but I pogo to pay my bills.
He deserves to be here. I mean, his riding is absurd. His work ethic is as high as any other pro I've ever worked with.
It's cool to be teamed up with DARRYL for this because not only is he a professional BMX rider, but his work behind camera is also really good. So when I'm out in the street, I know he already knows what he's doing, so I can just focus on what I need to do. I'm used to going out riding with my friends and I'm just here, hold the camera and, you know, just getting any kind of basic shot. And, you know, if they don't get the shot, then I gotta do the clip all over again. And he gives you that extra push, like, yeah, you got this. And hearing that from him, and then you start to feel like, yeah, I do got this.
I would describe Colt's riding as stuntman-esque. He's looking at larger-than-life setups every day. It's absurd. Like, stuff that I would never think to ride, film, even point out, he's like in love with. Some of the stuff is so dangerous, you just don't know what's gonna happen. I've been like fully shaking at times.
My heart's beating through my chest.
When all the odds are stacked against you for some of these spots and you actually come away with something, it's like the best feeling in the world.
The most challenging part for me and DARRYL was he lives in Texas and I live in Florida, so we couldn't just meet up whenever we have free time.
All the teams had 3 months to work on this project, more like 3 weeks for me and Colt.
We had to schedule trips for me to come to him to come to me, so you have to make the best out of every day that you can.
He's taken some of the hardest crashes I've ever seen, and he's still managed to put together a full part in a 3-week span, basically. Yeah, that's a testament to how hard he works. I mean, he has proved that he deserves to be here.
I'm Colt Fake, and this is my Real BMX video part.
Well, that was totally outrageous. Judges?
The first thing that came to mind was I was like, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a video part. Colt, like from start to finish, just took us on an adventure. I mean, it was nonstop. The speed, the risk, everything. I mean, it was a total package.
The thing about Colt is that you don't see him that much. You don't hear about what he's doing that much compared to the other guys in the contest. So when I first saw his name on the list, I was like, that's weird. because these other guys are like career video part makers. Like that was everything that I love about a BMX part. Sometimes it doesn't have to be all the technical stuff. It was just raw. That to me was the truth.
He's just doing his own thing. No F's given, you know?
Yeah, it was like an action movie. There was explosions.
Literally explosion.
When was he gonna jump out the chopper?
I actually think Arnold's got to watch out because there's like a new Terminator on the
The Blyther drop-in no-footed onto the rail is so gnarly. It might seem like a joke, but it is so heavy.
That gap to feeble, how the hell did he even see that? Like, was he like, oh, dude, I can go from that? It's like, I don't even know.
What about the steep feeble at the end that he damn near popped the earth? It was just like, and he had to do it a bunch of times.
That was a complete package. I mean, he had like an intro, and he had like a build up to a solid ender. And that song went so good with his riding.
Song's so good.
I love the song.
The one where he jumps over the rail into the ditch that has water at the bottom and kind of a step waterfall, there was nowhere to go. If anything happened, he was 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right, he's done. I would have looked at that and went, the payoff's not worth it. But it was.
You know, one thing I noticed was when he 360'd down the big set. First, he crashed on the first clip and he did like an esophagus grind on the ground. Then the next try, he pulls it technically, but like his foot bobbles off. And in hindsight, you know, at first I didn't like it, but now I kind of do, just because it shows just how gnarly it is and how raw it was.
Or he base jumped off a set of stairs and he could barely hold on when he hit the ground, which looks like more like it.
I mean, he has a kid, so he's got to take what he can get, you know? Like I don't want him risking his life any more than he has to out there, you know? Like.
DARRYL TOCCO, the filmer, is actually a professional bike rider as well. So, I mean, Brian, what do you think? How much does that change things?
Yeah, since DARRYL is a professional bike rider, he probably knows the pressure that Colt is under, and he's kind of helping Colt out, and instead of pushing him or making him feel nervous or whatever, he's probably kind of smoothing things over, and obviously they have confidence in each other, so that helps a lot too.
Letting him do his thing.
With that, I think Colt is trying to talk DARRYL into climbing up onto the roof and being like, DARRYL's like, oh, yeah, like, let's be real here. These rolls, like, you can't even compare how DARRYL rides a bike to how he rides a bike. Like, DARRYL's probably shaking in his pants, hanging off some scaffolding or something, you know?
I think Colt just made a lot of fans.
Yeah, he's got one right here.
Time for a quick break, but when we get back, we're gonna scope out a video from street riding powerhouse Dakota Roche and his filmer Vish.
Welcome back to World of X Games, Real BMX, presented by Hot Pockets.
Before we jump into the next video, we're going to take another look at Colt Fake's deadly feeble grind in Philadelphia, the Hunger for More moment, presented by Hot Pockets.
Hunger for More moment is presented by Hot Pockets. Colt Fake isn't your average BMX street rider. Instead of riding eye-level handrails and ledges, Colt sets his sights on buildings and big drop-offs. For Colt's Real BMX video part, he traveled to Philadelphia and found what would become the final clip of his section, a roof drop feeble grind. Following a handful of wild attempts, Fake landed the trick, proving that he deserves this year's Hunger for More moment.
That was wild. Colt Fake is definitely committed. Now we're going to check out Dakota Roche from Huntington Beach and his filmer Vish.
My name's Dakota Roche, 29 years old from Huntington Beach, California. With any new project, I try to explore some different areas that I'm not super familiar with, and then even going back to stuff that I haven't been to in years, you know? And that's how I go about filming. I'd say most of my video parts is that process.
I'm Richard Crum, also known as Vish, and I'm 30 years old from La Habra, California. Dak kind of taught me, in the beginning, when I was starting to film and I was coming around and...
Because we've been friends for 15 years. We grew up riding together. He's not just gonna be like, oh, you're all good just to make me feel good. It's we gotta be real about it too, so.
Yeah, so that's why. That's why we're so good together. Nope, left me hanging. We're not as good as we thought. A few of the spots were redemption.
A few years in the making, you know what I mean? Where things just didn't work out for other projects, and it's this was a perfect opportunity to go back and try them again. We're getting close to the end, a few weeks left to film, and not to mention editing, and Vish had to work on the song more. It was I thought my part was done, but then Vish's yeah, you need a different ender. So searched it out, ended up finding something that I was really hyped on. I was this could be a pretty solid ender. Just it all came down to it. We got to the spot, I was all right, I gotta do this. And it worked within a few tries. I was super stoked. We were celebrating and everything. Sends me kind of a rough draft of the tricks, and it's not the ender. When you told me I needed an ender and then it wasn't the ender, I was like, what is this dude trying to do to me?
I knew when you did the trick that it wasn't the ender.
What?
I feel bad for like making you think that it was gonna be different than it was, but.
No, I'm stoked on it, so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when you have something you're hyped on, you overlook the hell you went through to get that. I'm Dakota Roche, and this is my X Games Real BMX video part. And thanks for killing it, Mish. You're the man, dude. Appreciate that.
Powerhouse moves. Mike, what'd you think?
This part has like signature DAC moves. That first opener is really sick. Like it's gnarly, it's such good style, that 360 going in. But I did feel like there was a few too many wall rides. There was a couple clips that I questioned a little bit. There's a couple that you can't mess with. That pocket wall ride over the gap is one of the best things I've seen in a long time.
The ice pick down the rail, down like all those stoppers was awesome. And then the hanger up the stoppers was also sick. Just like spots a lot of people would just write off, you know? He just powered through them. The fact that Vish, the filmer, made music, laid down all the tracks, all the instruments. It felt polished, like the intro with the font and everything to use. Overall, I definitely feel like it's a really solid video part.
Dude, I'm onto him. He says he's always out spot searching in California. He comes up with all these spots that you've never even seen before. I think he's making these spots.
I love too how Dak like leaves his signature on every spot. Like he just leaves those black rainbows all over Southern California. The high ledge where he did the grind to wall ride. I mean, the things like chin height on him, you know, that kind of just shows like athleticism and just what a good rider Dak is and powerhouse, like you said. I mean, his riding ability, his skills on a bike are just like unmatched.
That's what I like about Dak stuff, is that he's so powerful and he uses it. In a time when people can bunny hop higher than they ever have before, we're stuck watching video parts of guys running ledges the size of this table. He doesn't grind rails, he grinds things that divide property lines. And that's what you should be doing if you can do it.
Definitely one of the most tasteful street riders. East Coast, West Coast, it doesn't matter. Like his style is broad enough that it appeals. Yeah, he's a full deal, he's a real deal, you know?
I also feel that the trick before the ender, this should have been the other way around. When I saw him do the grind and the 180, I was like, oh my God, what's he gonna do after that? You know, and then I was like, huh.
He had the finishing section in the Vans video, it just came out last month. So now to have this come out, you know, that's a tough position to be in because you haven't given yourself a chance to like
heal,
learn new stuff, heal, find new spots, all that stuff. And Dak just kind of showed what separates the pros from the super pros.
We'll be back after the break with a video section from legendary East Coast street rider Van Homan and his filmer Ryan NAVAZIO.
Hot Pockets. Be hungry for more. Just never be hungry.
It's time to check out a video part from one of the most influential street riders of all time, Van Homan, and his filmer Ryan NAVAZIO.
Van Homan, from Pennsville, New Jersey. You know, I've ridden in contests in the past, I've ridden in X Games in the past, but filming video parts has always been what I was the most passionate about and where I excelled the most. I really feed off that energy of just, you know, rolling away from something that scared you and challenged you, and to see it all in one video part, it's just something you can be proud of.
My name is Ryan NAVAZIO, and I'm working with Van Homan for his Real BMX video part. So this is like the first real opportunity I've had to like work with Van, where I'm filming everything, I'm picking the music, we're working together to like see a project from beginning to end. So when he asked me, it was like, I couldn't say no.
For me and for my career, video parts are huge. It's kind of what got me noticed and led to me being able to make a living riding a bike.
His Criminal Mischief part is like the holy grail of video parts. The stuff he does in there is still as crazy today as it was 15 years ago. Most of the guys that are in this contest would reference Van's part as one of the greatest, if not the greatest video parts.
Most of the video parts that I've worked on have been a couple-year process, so to put something out in 3 months, that's pretty fast. And you know, keeping yourself motivated, staying healthy, and just constantly getting out there and trying to get clips in that short of amount of time. It's a challenge, you know, on your mind. It's a challenge on your body.
His riding style is like really do or die. You know, the second that the camera's on and everything's set up and he's ready to go, he flips a switch.
Sometimes you get in a place where you're no longer thinking about the consequences and you're just thinking about the final outcome, and that's a good place to be. I mean, I guess in a way it can be a dangerous place to be, but you're kind of going to battle with a trick or a spot, and when you finally roll away from it, there's no better feeling.
At 36, Van is still doing crazy stuff.
I think I'm 10 years older than the next oldest guy in this event.
There's no one out there doing what Van's doing at his age, at the level that he's doing it. Who have been around as long as he has, who have put out the caliber of video parts that he has. He's one of a kind.
I've never felt the urge to stop. You know, I just keep doing what I do, and I love doing it. I don't know why I'm still doing this as a grown-ass man, but it just doesn't go away. I'm Van Homan, and this is my XGames Real BMX video part.
Van Homan, another amazing video part, the People's Champ. Judges, what do you guys think?
The precision and the aggression kind of combined into one, like, is just, I think, the best combination for me as far as watching videos. And for 15 years now, he's been putting out crazy video parts like this. So, you know, it's impressive and motivating.
It was classic Van Homan, start to finish. Just like the over manuals over the back of the rail, which is definitely like the riskiest way to go down a rail on one tire. The Bubaka to bar spin, the overgrinds, like everything. Like in the beginning, like the Van determination, when he falls in the overgrind and you just see him get up and he's bleeding and everything, gets back up and does it again. Like Van has that tenacity. When he wants something, he's gonna see it through. He's like one of the toughest dudes out there.
I enjoy his parts sometimes more than others because I know when I hit play, it's not gonna be a bunch of gimmicks and trying to fit in. It's just like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do solid riding.
I think any kid watching that, like whether you're 16, 26, 36, like that should be like what you aspire to be like, you know, if you love BMX riding, you know?
The thing about Van is too, is like everything is so like powerful and sort of brutal, but then you see stuff like that manual to whip that is like, it's the most beautiful clip I've seen in all the videos so far.
Dude, that slow-mo, no-footed can. When it cuts to like that like drawn-out chord part, I'm like, it just reminded me of Criminal Mischief, man. You got a little bit of nostalgia watching it. One thing that I loved about that part was just, honestly, the spots. You don't really recognize any of the spots, you know? Like they're just East Coast spots, you know? Like, that's awesome. You can tell he put in work to find, like, new stuff to ride.
NAVAZIO's skills really shine because when you see all those subtleties of the spots, you almost feel like you're there and you feel like you're experiencing it. Like you said, when you can see the electrical box kind of shake, it's those little things that you probably wouldn't notice if you were just watching it or if it was not filmed as well as it was. So Navaz always is great for that and really makes you feel like you're there watching it in person.
Didn't you guys feel that that his banger didn't stick with you as much as it should have?
I feel like it went by too fast.
Went by too fast?
Like there should have been some more angles or something.
Van really put himself through the ringer trying to get this video part done. Let's watch him power through another injury as he tries to make it happen. Here's the real moment, presented by Hot Pockets.
The Real Moment, presented by Hot Pockets. Since the late 90s, street riding legend Van Homan has set the bar with some of the most influential BMX video parts to have ever been released, and at 36 refuses to slow down. Van's ability to bounce back when things go awry has etched his name into BMX history. This year, Homan tackled Real BMX with 3 months to film, and his commitment to conquering dangerous overgrinds set the standards for this year's Real Moment.
We have one video part left, so stay tuned for 8-time X Games gold medalist Garrett Reynolds and his filmer Tony Ennis.
Welcome back to World of X Games Real BMX, presented by Hot Pockets.
Welcome back. It's time to check out what Garrett Reynolds and Tony Ennis put together. Let's see if Garrett can clinch his 9th X Games gold medal.
I'm Garrett Reynolds. I'm 25 years old and I'm from San Diego, California. Me and Tony have been working together for probably I'd say right around 5 years now, and not even a question in my head of who I'd pick, you know?
I'm Tony Ennis, I'm 33 years old and I'm from San Diego, California. Every single video part he's doing something new, and we work hours on this stuff just to make it right, and it's an honor to work with someone who takes it seriously like that. He just does it for himself. It's just cool to be seeing the progression as it's happening.
There was a couple tricks that took me a while, and I expected them to take a while. It's just all about taking my time and waiting for it to happen and just being patient. I think that's one of the biggest things about filming, especially with tech tricks and anything, is being ready and waiting for it, and then when you feel right, get ready to act on it. But sometimes you really do have to dig deep and calm yourself down and try not to get frustrated, because you're asking for a lot out of yourself, doing a hard trick on a spot that's not meant to be rode, and you're trying to do it and not do it sloppy, so you got to understand that and just take your time. It's funny because you can get really upset and angry and disappointed in yourself, and then the second I landed, I'm the happiest person, oh, we need to go out tomorrow and film more stuff. In Southern California, you go to all these places and so many things have been done, it's sometimes kind of hard to get footage because there's a list of 50 tricks that have already been done on the spot you're sitting at. China, not as many people get to go to, and it was 2 weeks, let's just go see what we run into, and I feel like it's always easier to get footage on trips because you have no excuses, you're there, so you got to do it while you're there.
Yeah, our buddy was actually blocking security guards as he did his trick.
It's what we had to do to get footage. It's just, it was an obstacle. We learned that on those kind of trips, if you're not gonna be back for a long time, you gotta do whatever you can to get whatever you can. When you're filming for a video part, you can go wherever you want, do whatever you want. There's no rules, there's no nothing. And I think that's one thing I really like about video parts, is because you just do whatever you want. And that's why I got into BMX, and that's why I do it. I'm Garrett Reynolds, and this is my X Games Real BMX video part.
You love to laugh all the
One of the best, if not the best, to film a video part, Garrett Reynolds. What'd you guys think?
One thing that I loved about Garrett's part was that he traveled to China. None of the dudes were like, yeah, I want jet lag and maybe questionable food to film this part in 3 months, you know? Like, just proves that like he's like that dedicated, you know?
The Chinese spots were a breath of fresh air. I don't know if the air is too fresh in Shanghai, but they were a breath of fresh air for the video. It was just cool to see kind of a different vibe, you know, halfway through and how they kind of switched it up like that.
He has so many tricks. I feel like a lot of times he can ride stock things and just kill it because he's going to do something no one's ever done before. There was a couple things that weren't just stock spots, like the feeble 180 bar to back row Smith. I was really psyched in that just because it's like more of like a spot and a really technical trick combo. And then like the G-turn to Smith to manual 180 whip, like those two things blew my mind.
Tricks for me that probably, I don't know why I connected with the most. I'm sure it's that last clip because that's the spot I grew up around, so to know how gnarly that is. I think it was just like a pretty solid part. I thought there were some weird shots of the filmer just put in there. Some strange rollaway shots where Tony's just standing in the background filming. You know, that's a personal thing.
Tony Ennis and Garrett Reynolds have really set the bar high for themselves. Banger after banger, every single video part he has. So it is hard to kind of top, you know, one after the other. But I think this one had some surprises in it, and I really, really liked it.
Do you feel like there was sort of the same four trick combinations on every trick? In a lot of tails, a lot of bar spins in and out of rails. You know,
I could see how you say that, but there was one clip in there that kind of struck me as interesting or that I liked, and that was just the half cab over the high rail because it didn't involve a bar spin, it didn't involve a tail whip, it didn't involve, you know, anything like super duper technical. It was just like showing Garrett's like raw power.
Can anyone else do what he does?
From a competitor aspect of it, like in contest, he's kind of like a, you know, Michael Jordan where he's just won so many championships and whatever, but he's gone beyond that, and even in his video parts, like he's always coming up with new stuff. The way he keeps kind of innovating himself and kind of just one-upping himself is incredible and unmatched.
There's that one clip where he's like two little manual pads and he does like kind of a 360 bar to bar across and he comes out to a dead stop, which to me is like, find a new place to do it. That seems so out of Garrett to me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Most people literally ride dead stop now. Like, they're going into the trick that fast, like.
And therein lies the problem.
Yeah. After 3 months of filming, it all comes down to this. Judges, I need you guys to write down your votes. All right, Jeff, can you hand me the helmet? Now we're going to tally up the votes while the riders and filmers check out each other's videos for the first time. After that, we're heading outside to hand out the hardware. Today has been awesome. We've watched all the videos and now it's time to hand out the hardware. For the bronze, we got Team Enarson. Nearing the moment of truth, now we've got the silver medal and it goes to Team Colt Fake. All right, time is now. 2016 X Games Real BMX gold medal goes to Team Reynolds. X Games, Real BMX, the first one. You guys took the gold. Tell us about it.
I don't know, I can't believe we took it. I mean, every single video part was just insane from the beginning to the end, so to walk away with honors is just insane to us.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, but at the same time, I think everyone did something awesome, so I think it's good for BMX. It just shows it's pretty raw and everyone's working their ass off, so it's pretty cool.
It's not about winning, but just doing something cool for BMX and just showing kids what we do.
The judges have chosen our winner, but we want you, the viewer, to choose your favorite. To vote for Real BMX fan favorite, log on to xgames.com/RealBMX. Congrats to all these guys and thanks to everyone for watching.